Hello, friends. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. I don't know if it is just me or if everyone feels like this time of year. Everything is just so chaotic, and with family coming in town, friends coming over, it's just everything. There's so much to do, and I just feel like everything's so chaotic right now. So I am spending the day just kind of tidying up, going through everything, dusting, cleaning things from top to bottom, and getting everything ready for the next couple of days to be jam packed with Christmas activities and just all kinds of things. On a side note, I did not notice at the time when I was making the bed, but I feel like my blankets are sideways. I think they're on my bed wrong. As I'm watching this, I'm like, oh, they don't even barely cover the sides, which I don't know. But you know what? I do think that these are a little smaller. You know how like you get some blankets. We have a king size bed, and some blankets like they still barely cover the sides, even though they are king size. It's just like they're a little smaller. And then we have some comforters that are just giant, and I feel like they're oversized, even though they say they're king. But yeah, I'm like watching this back, and they just look wrong. So I think my blankets, and they're still wrong, but that is what it is until I end up taking them off to throw them in the wash. I ended up doing a ton of dusting, and I started in my room because it's kind of the most neglected. A lot of people don't end up seeing my bedroom. When we do have a lot of guests over, they do come in and like use our bathroom, because we have our bedroom is like kind of off of the main area, and we have another bathroom in the main area as well. But if it's occupied and we have a ton of guests, they'll end up using our bathroom. So that's kind of why I was starting in here, because there wasn't a ton to do, but there was a lot of dusting. And so I just wanted to get my room dusted and feeling better, cleaner. You know how you just go through everything and it just feels like fresher. And I know that it kind of weighs on me mentally when I feel like my house is just not as clean. I have anxiety problems, especially since my youngest passed away. It's kind of skyrocketed. So I try to keep my house kind of tidy for myself, basically. It runs a lot smoother, and it just kind of takes everything off of my shoulders. It eases my mind when things are tidy and wiped down and everything. So, anyway, I was starting in my room, and a lot of it was just dusting. I needed some vacuuming and dusting, and other than that, there really wasn't much else. However, the dusting was totally getting to me. Every time I do like a major dust around the house, it gets to my eyes, my nose. I just itchy, and I'm sneezing all the time. So that's kind of after this, I ended up not feeling so great, even though mentally I felt so much better because everything was just totally clean. But physically, I was all stuffed up and just itchy feeling. I also was unable to find any glass cleaner in my house. I must have used it all and not realized it and then didn't buy any new. So I ended up using this like multi-purpose spray for all my mirrors and windows. And it was so bad. And I couldn't tell when I was actually wiping it all down, like here. I could not tell, but afterwards, it's like you couldn't see out of anything, and I had to end up going back through later that day because it just drove me insane. It just was so smeared and it looked terrible, probably worse than before I actually cleaned it. So I didn't know, and you won't even see me redo it in the video because it took a while for me to even realize how bad of a job this multi-service cleaner did on all the windows, and I even did like the fireplace glass, and it just looked terrible. So note to self or anyone else, this, I think it's from Target, and I don't even know what brand it, or I've had it for a really long time, but it is the worst at any glass or anything like that. So definitely get a glass cleaner for those kind of things, because I spent so much time working on it this day and then really regretted having to go back over and do it all. I was just going to do a quick wipe down on all this stuff, but then I started noticing as I was getting to everything that there was just dog hair on all this stuff. So I wanted to move it all, and I went outside and shook off the rug, and then I wanted just to give it a good clean. So I vacuumed and mopped the area before I put everything back, and then I did already wipe everything down. We have 2 Australian Shepherds, and our littlest one, Milo, is always in our room, so it seems like there's always a lot of pet dander that needs vacuumed and wiped down and everything. So I feel like it's just like a losing battle because he is so full of fur. He's always shedding, and it just seems like I never can get on top of it. I'm doing this whole house clean, just getting everything from top to bottom, and I'm hoping that I can maintain it then throughout all our Christmas events. We have multiple different Christmases that we have with different parts of our family, and then we host actual Christmas. We have about 25 people coming for Christmas Day, but we have a ton of stuff that goes on before that. We have, like I said, we do um, Christmas with other people in our family. And then we have my son's birthday. He's turning 15 this year, and that's a couple days before Christmas. So we like to kind of have that day really special for him. And so we pretty much disconnect completely from Christmas that day, just so he can feel special and not feel like it's lumped in with Christmas. But anyway, we have so many different events, so much stuff going on the couple of weeks of Christmas. And I'm hoping that I can just do this one whole house clean and then be able to maintain it throughout and not have to do another one right before Christmas. But if you are a mom, I'm sure you know if you have little kids running around, it gets to be impossible to actually keep things clean sometimes. It feels like you are always cleaning. I know that is how I feel, where I feel like I'm always either in the kitchen or I am always cleaning something. And I think that's just the stage of life that I'm in. I try to keep our house pretty tidy for my own mental state, but I know with kids, it is so difficult to maintain that. So, especially now when they're like so excited for Christmas, my youngest, Theo, he has been wrapping presents like this entire time that I'm cleaning. My kids all love to get involved in gift giving. So, they all went and purchased gifts for each other. And then they've been wrapping them. So, I showed Theo how to like wrap with wrapping paper and how to use tape and all that. And when he was done wrapping his gifts for his siblings, it was like almost like he was playing, but he's very serious about it. He then went in his room and he was gifting like little things that he found that, like his toys and stuff like that. Like, oh, Aubrey really likes Garfield, so I'm going to give her this Garfield stuffed animal that I have. And he was drawing little pictures. I think he did like little Pokemon cards. He made his own Pokemon cards, and he was wrapping those and putting those under the tree. And then we had to kind of sit there because he was not saying on the labels, he wasn't saying who they were actually for. He was just putting his name on them because he's only 5. So he knows how to write his name, but he does not know how to spell and write his brothers and sisters' names. So he was only putting his name. And so my daughter, Aubrey, she sat there with him and was writing everybody else's name or spelling them for him to write on all of his gifts. But it was just so funny because he has been wrapping all day, just all these gifts. Even though he purchased a small amount, he is now gifting things from like his own personal stuff from his room. It was very, very sweet. Okay, so I know I have a lot of plants all over my house. If you've seen previous videos, you've seen that I have a lot of plants. I have had this snake plant in my room for probably a year and a half now. It was doing like it I bought it when it was smaller, and then I put it outside like a couple summers ago, and it did really, really well on my front porch. And then it got colder, so I brought it inside, and it's kind of just been chilling in my bedroom for the last year and a half or so. Um, and I know that snake plants, you can kind of ignore them and they still continue to thrive. That was very much so with this one. However, I think I have paid a little too much attention to it recently. I'm not really a natural green thumb. I really would love that, but I'm not natural at it at all. And you would think with like as many plants as I have, I would be really good with plants, but I'm not. Don't let any of that fool you. I'm not really that great. I'm still learning. But anyway, I think I've paid too much attention to this snake plant. My husband always has like half drink water bottles on his nightstand, or, they're barely full at all. And I will just take them and dump them into the snake plant. And the soil does not seem like it's overly wet or anything. It actually seems pretty dry. However, I I almost feel like it smells. I've started noticing the last few days whenever I walk into my room, I'm smelling something, and I don't know quite what it is, and that's the only thing I can think of. It doesn't smell like super terrible, and it's not super strong. You can barely notice it, or at least I can, and I'm the only one that has said anything about it. But I'm starting to wonder if I've like ruined this plant by giving it too much water, too much attention. Like I said, it doesn't seem like it's overwatered, but that's the only thing I can think of, and I'm like tearing my room apart trying to find the smell, and that's the only thing I can think of, so I've been blaming it on that. So I'm like currently ignoring the crap out of this plant. But if you know anything about that, let me know what I need to be looking for, because like I said, do not let the quantity of plants I own fool you. I absolutely do not know what I'm doing. I walked up into my office today to do this voiceover, and I was so excited because finally my lemon tree, the lemons are turning yellow. I was kind of expecting it to not even do anything because it's so cold out, and I thought it would be like dormant. Um, but, and I moved it inside, but yeah, they're turning yellow. And for a while, I actually questioned, like, did I actually buy a lime tree and not realize it because they looked like limes? But as of this morning, they are officially turning into lemons. So that was exciting. But yeah, I don't know anything about the plants that I try to learn, and I just keep getting them. And my 5-year-old, he loves looking at them too and taking care of them and helping me. So that's kind of something we have in common too. But man, I think I'm messing up the snake plant in my room. I've now moved on to my bathroom. I kind of go whenever I do like whole house cleaning, I go from like room to room. So I don't really jump around the house. I will fully clean one room before I move on to the next. I don't know if that works for everybody. It definitely works for me. So that's what I'm doing. I'm got my room cleaned, and now I am cleaning my bathroom, getting it all dusted, and I'm also going through like all my skincare, my lotions, all that kind of stuff, and just getting rid of stuff that I don't use or that we no longer a lot of the stuff like is almost gone anyway. So I went ahead and just got rid of it. We're kind of at the point where it's needing to get thrown out anyway. I'm just wiping all the rest of the stuff down, putting it on the counter. I'm thinking that we're going to end up redoing this bathroom some point, maybe in the spring. Um, we hate the paint. You can't even tell from the video, but the paint is awful. It is like a off-white, like yellowy color. When we got it, it was gray. When we bought the house, the bathroom was gray, and we were trying to redo the bathroom. However, it was in the middle of everything that we were going through medically with our youngest son. So we did what we could. It was just kind of like a quick Band-Aid type of thing, and then we moved on. But yeah, it needs redone. We both hate the paint color. I'm not sure exactly what we're gonna do. We really like the idea of like color drenching. We did that to our bedroom recently and we really, really like it. I'm not sure if we'll do that again for this bathroom, but it definitely needs something. Oh, so I was recently watching a different YouTuber. They were doing their laundry and I liked the method that they were doing and I think I'm going to actually try it. I was talking to a couple friends about the whole laundry situation. They brought up how they were struggling and if you've seen my channel how it's always a mountain over here, the laundry. So what they do, a lot of people were suggesting like to sort the clothes before and like give every kid their own laundry basket for dirty clothes and then sort it, before so then you're only doing like one kid's clothes at a time. And I think that that's a great idea. However, for my family, I don't see that really being a long-term thing because we never really have I say that we have dirty clothes, but I generally get down to like no dirty clothes almost every single day. We usually only have enough. We have one hamper and everybody just puts all their clothes from that day into the hamper and then I usually wash the clothes that day. It is the sorting and putting away afterwards that totally gets to me. I hate it and I don't know if it will ever fix, it might always be a problem. I don't know. But this other YouTuber, they would actually sort afterwards. So they had baskets in their laundry area, one for each child and then or each family member. I think the mom and dad also had one, but they would sort it out of the dryer into those baskets and then like if the kids were old enough then they can just take their baskets and deal with it themselves. And then I don't know, I'm like a light bulb went off in my head when I saw this and I'm like I really think I'm going to try that. I think I have some extra baskets downstairs, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I just take them right from the dryer and sort them into these baskets and then deal with just, the one kid or, myself or whatever separately. And I'm wondering if maybe that will be less overwhelming than the mountains that I usually put off and deal with like at one time. If you are a large family, I would love to hear how you do laundry in your household because from what I hear, it seems like it is a struggle just across the board. It seems like everybody is struggling with laundry these days. I and I'm one of those people, so I would love to hear what is working or what is not working for you. Do you sort the clothes before? Do you sort them after? What is working because I need some suggestions. I need some solutions for these mountains of clothes that I am always having to deal with. I at one point put on shoes while I was cleaning. I had seen another YouTuber, they were talking about how after they do like a whole house clean, they're really sore. And so they were trying to put on shoes to see if that would like make them feel better. I guess they got a lot of suggestions for that. Um, I did not have that issue, but I don't know why. I felt like I was like moving faster. It sounds so stupid, but I'm like, I swear, like I have these running shoes on and I'm going so quick. I have this actually sped up, so I'm not actually moving that fast, but I felt like it was having me like move faster and just kind of, I don't know. Obviously, it's like delusional. But that is why I put them on, and I might have worn them the whole time. I can't remember, but I felt like they were making me speedy quick. So that's why I ended up putting them on and keeping them on. The last few days, my kids have taken over, like my older two kids have taken over the elf for my younger two boys, which I absolutely love that they help and that they try to make Christmas magical for my younger two boys. It's so sweet, and they try to take, some of that burden off of me, which I really appreciate. However, the last couple of days, they have chosen like activities that are really messy. So you may have seen when I first came into the kitchen, they put sugar on the island, and then they made it seem as if he was making snow angels out of the sugar. And it was very cute. The boys loved it, but yeah, it was so messy. There was sugar all over the floor, sugar all over the island, and it took a little bit to actually get it all cleaned up. Again, I'm very appreciative. If you've seen my other video, I don't really love that we have the elf still. It was something that we started when my older two were really, really young. I want to say like that was when elf actually like came out and became popular, but um, yeah, I wish we didn't have to do it anymore. We kind of, because of the age gap, um, we just kept doing it for our younger two. And so it is nice though that my older two, they try to help and stuff now, but man, I will be so happy when those days are over. And don't you wish that you could do dishes this quick? I am obviously really great at doing dishes because look how fast I'm going. I wish I could do dishes this quickly. We had so many. They kind of had just built up over the last few days. I had done some, but not like fully done all of them in the sink. And we would have dinner and then kind of do a couple of dishes, and then we would end up having to run to the store to get some last minute gifts or whatever, running to and from constantly over the last week. And then the last few days, it's like we would do some of the dishes, but then we would get so busy doing other things that we would end up leaving them. And then I would just tell my husband like, oh, it's fine, just leave them, I'll do them in the morning. And then it was like a snowball effect. I would not end up getting to all of them again, and it was just constant. So that is why there seems to be so many. I don't even think I taped all of them. I'm trying to remember, but yeah, so we had so many dishes, and finally I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just sit here and I'm gonna get through all of the dishes and not keep putting it off. So I sat there and I washed them all by hand, and then my oldest came up and he dried them and put them all away for me. And yes, we do have a dishwasher. However, it is so temperamental and has mood swings, and I am just really over dealing with it. It currently needs a part. I don't even like a heating thing, like a heating element, I think is what it's called. So we have figured out it does need a part, and that's why it was so temperamental and kind of going back and forth with not working. And sometimes it would, and sometimes it wouldn't. So I feel like we just need to actually replace it. It's older. I think it was older before we moved in to the house, and it's done. It's really, I think, not even worth fixing at this point. I think we just need a new one. And my son came in and asked at one point like what I was baking because I was wearing an apron. And I was like, I'm not baking anything. I'm just trying not to get water all over myself. I swear it never fails. Like every time I don't put an apron on when I'm washing dishes by hand, that it will get like a cup the wrong way or the spoon the wrong way, and then it will go all over me and I'm soaked, and then I feel like I need to change my shirt. And so to prevent that, I put on an apron, and then he came in and he's like, oh, what are you baking? It's like, I'm not. I'm just such a messy person, and I'm trying to prevent that. So Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. So raise your hand if you sweep also before you vacuum. I think I was actually too embarrassed to show you that I usually do both, but I do. Secrets out. I don't know. We have a really great vacuum. We have a Samsung cordless vacuum, and I absolutely love it. But I feel like when I'm doing the kitchen, there's so many crumbs everywhere. I have a million kids, and there's just always crumbs in all the crevices. And so I always sweep beforehand to get it all out of the crevices. And then I feel like a broom kind of kicks up some of the dust or dog hair or whatever. And then when it settles, I like to then go through with a vacuum and kind of redo the whole thing. I just feel like it really cleans it really well when you do that, and it kind of gets to everything. So, I don't I'm pretty sure I did not show you in this video that I actually do both, but I do. So I was sweeping up all of the crumbs and everything, and then I do go through and vacuum, probably off camera, so I don't completely embarrass myself. And then um, my husband volunteered to mop for me, so that was really sweet. He ended up, after all the kids laid down that evening, he went through and just kind of did a quick mop around the whole house, and that was awesome. So he also did baseboards. I tried to do like some of the baseboards that are hard to get to. Um, like with the mop, I'll go ahead and just wipe them. I think I do them around like this window here usually. But oh, I did show you I was vacuuming. Oh, that's funny. Okay. So, but yeah, so I am doing the baseboards here because I'll put like the plant and stuff back, and then he can't really get to them when he's mopping. So I'll just do them by hand. But the other ones, I usually will do the baseboards with the mop. So he did all the mopping and the baseboards that evening. So you won't see me do the mopping, but I was so grateful to have help with that. This plant that I am struggling to figure out how the table goes is another plant that isn't doing great. It's not doing terrible or anything, but it's a plant for my son's funeral, so I'm like trying to make it survive. Someone sent it though, and I have no idea what kind of plant it is. I've tried looking it up. I have no idea what it is, and the person that sent it, they did not realize that that's what was going to be sent. They saw it after and they're like, "Oh, I had something completely different in mind." So, no one knows what this plant is, and I keep periodically like thinking that it's dying. And then out of nowhere it will be like great again. So, I don't know. I keep moving the plants around to find, we have so many from his funeral. And so I keep kind of moving them around to figure out where they need to go, or, what kind of lighting is best or whatever. So that plant is actually kind of newer to the kitchen because I think it needs more light. But also, again, I have no idea because I don't even know what plant it is to even look it up. My living area, dining area wasn't really that messy. It just kind of needed a good wipe down, a good vacuum, and just overall tidy up. It never really gets that messy. We do schooling at the table or at the coffee table, and we eat at the table and stuff, but we are not huge on like sitting and watching movies. We don't often do that. So it's not a heavily used area. I mean, it is because, like I said, we do school and eat there and everything, but I don't know, for whatever reason, it never is messy in this area. My boys tend to keep their toys in their room, or they're playing outside with their stuff. They're never really like in our living room playing with it. So there's not usually a lot that needs picked up here. And then the bathroom that you saw me cleaning, my bathroom, was the only one that I actually had to clean this day. I thought I was going to do the other one in our main area. It's over there on the right with the light on. But I got out of doing that too. So I got really lucky this day where My husband volunteered to do mopping, and then my oldest son said that he would go ahead and do the bathroom downstairs for me. So that was really nice. And then the other bathroom is upstairs, and my daughter is responsible for cleaning that one and keeping it neat and tidy. So didn't have to do any other bathrooms. I was really excited about that. I don't know if you can see, but we have our the puzzle advent calendar there on the coffee table, and we are really, really behind on it. We were doing so good the first couple of weeks of December, and then things just got busy, and we would get home really late and not want to sit there after dinner and actually do the advent calendar. Um, so we are a couple days at least behind. We need to get back on track with that so we can finish. But it's actually, I mean, we've gotten really far. Is it like 24 or 42 pieces a day? I think it's 42. But so, and then when, you're a couple days behind, it adds up pretty quickly. So we need to get moving on that. And I realized that we have attachments to vacuum our couch. And I'm just, at this point, I'm really over cleaning and I just want to finish. So I don't care enough to look for them. And I am just working with what I have. And that is a full vacuum, and it did just fine. So it is what it is. I don't think I showed you in this video, and I don't think I have in any of my other videos, but if you can kind of see a tiny frame in front of the plant on the coffee table, I think it's the cutest thing. So Theo drew a tiny picture of a rainbow, and for whatever reason, he was really set on finding a tiny picture frame at the thrift stores that we would go to, and he finally found one. And so he put his rainbow in this tiny little frame, and I'm not sure why, but he thinks that it belongs teetering on the edge of our coffee table in the middle of this plant. He continues to put it there if it gets knocked down or whatever, but he has repeatedly put this picture. I think it's the cutest thing, but I don't know why it is in this location, but that is where he thinks it belongs, and it's really not bothering anyone. So that is where we keep it. But I thought it was kind of cute. It's a little, I'll have to show you in another video, but it is a little miniature picture of a rainbow. See how quickly I am able to go through the house and vacuum in these shoes. I am so speedy quick. I'm just kidding. It is sped up pretty quickly, but I swear, I don't know. I think I'm gonna start wearing shoes because for whatever delusional reason, it makes me feel like I'm actually going quicker through the house. At this point, I finally noticed that the windows were all streaky and everything from that multi-surface cleaner. So I ended up switching it out, and this window is our front window, and it always gets so dirty. Ted, our big dog, he gets on this chair, and then if the car's going by or he hears the garage open, he will look out the window and he makes all these marks with his nose. So it's usually pretty dirty. So I was just cleaning that up. And then I did a big like watering day with all my plants except that one that I've been over watering. But so I moved these off of the wood steps and put them onto the tile floor down here. And then I just put them on a towel. They're usually outside, so I wasn't sure if they would like leak and stuff. So I'm just going to take them off the towel, put them back where they belong. And by this point, I was like pretty tired. I was over the whole cleaning thing, and you'll see me, I mop and then I sweep because I'm like, what am I doing? I didn't even sweep. So you'll see me kind of do it backwards, and then I think I mop again. So I was just all over the place at this point. My brain was all scrambled up and I was just really over cleaning. I had cleaned for most of the day and I was just really over it by this point. So anyway, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening to me ramble and clean. I hope it gave you some cleaning motivation to get any last minute stuff that you need to do before you have your guests over for Christmas or whatever you may be doing. But I will see you in the next one. Bye.